On March 6, 2010, the European Poker Tour, hosted by PokerStars, was taking place at the Grand Hyatt Hotel in Berlin, Germany. As one of the largest real money online poker sites, PokerStars regularly organized events like this one, where players from across Europe competed for significant cash prizes. This particular tournament was no different, with large sums of money at stake and a big crowd of people attending the tournament. However, what was meant to be a regular poker tournament quickly turned into a terrifying robbery heist when 4 masked men burst into the hotel lobby armed with machetes and a handgun. As they busted in, it caused immediate panic among the players and staff. The robbers struggled with security as they attempted to take control of the situation. Fortunately, the chaos was relatively contained, and while one person was injured with a few slashes from the machetes while trying to restrain one of the robbers, no one was seriously injured. The robbers managed to escape in a black Mercedes, making off with 242,000 euros. They quickly talked to around 80 witnesses and collected enough evidence to catch the guys in just a few days. The robbers were arrested and were sentenced to 3 years in prison. Although nobody died in this robbery, it was still pretty scary for the people in the hotel. Like, what if you were trying to bet your whole life savings in a poker tournament and you just got your stuff robbed? Tragic. Even though the case was solved pretty quickly, it still makes it one of the most disturbing things caught on live TV, as the poker tournament was live. On May 11, 1985, a football match at Valley Parade turned into one of the worst fires in English football history. Bradford City AFC was playing in Lincoln City when a fire broke out in the main stand just before halftime, killing 56 people and injuring to at least 265 others. And what makes it worse is that this tragedy was caught on live TV. Valley Parade, home of Bradford City since 1903, had a very old wooden main stand that was built in 1911. Over the year, debris had accumulated beneath the floorboards, creating a fire hazard. The game started normally with thousands of fans in attendance. Near halftime, television cameras captured smoke rising from beneath the seats. Initially dismissed as minor, the fire quickly grew out of control. Panic spread as fans attempted to escape, but many exits were blocked or locked. The fire engulfed the stands within minutes, trapping people inside, while viewers at home watched in horror as the disaster unfolded live. Firefighters arrived quickly, but the blaze had already consumed the stand. Investigators later concluded that a dropped cigarette likely ignited the debris under the stand. The outdated structure and lack of fire precautions made containment impossible. A subsequent inquiry led to major safety reforms, including the banning of wooden stands, mandatory fire inspections, and improved evacuation procedures. The disaster left a lasting impact on the football community. A memorial fundraiser raised over 3.5 million euros for victims and their families. I'm aware that this next case has been talked about on YouTube a handful of times, but in all honesty, it's actually one of my personal favorite cases because of how disturbing it is. Lauren Giddings was a 27-year-old woman who attended Mercer University. Stephen McDaniel was also a former classmate and even lived in the same apartment complex as Lauren. Till this day, I don't know if they were considered friends, but they for sure knew of each other. But tragically, on June 26, 2011, Stephen would murder Lauren by breaking into her apartment using a master key. He would be wearing a mask and a pair of gloves, where he would then strangle her to death. The following day, he would use a hacksaw to dismember her so he can hide the body. He threw away the torso outside in the apartment's trash can. Lauren was reported missing on June 30th, and later that day, her torso was found. Stephen, posing as a concerned friend, gave a televised interview. He claimed that she was probably kidnapped, but when the reporter told them that a torso was found, his face gave it all away, because he knew in that very moment that he has been caught red-handed.
We just don't know where she is.
What about in the parking lot area? I know they've been doing a lot of, I think that's where they have recovered the body or whatever they recovered from there.
Body?
Had you heard it? Had you seen anything there? Had you seen anything there? I mean, we don't know if this is the same person. You know what I mean? Like, they took out a body there earlier. We don't know if it's the same person or not. That's how we're trying to ask people if they know who lived there. Are you okay, sir?
I think I need to sit down.
Okay.
That same day, he voluntarily went to the police station for questioning. His interrogation lasted over 12 hours, and authorities soon searched his apartment. He remained in custody for a month before being formally charged with murder in August. Investigators connected him to the crime through key evidence, including the hacksaw used in the dismemberment. In 2014, McDaniel pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 30 years life in prison. Till this day, the other remains of Lauren have not yet been found. On April 30th, 1998, 40-year-old maintenance worker Daniel Victor Jones drove his pickup truck onto Los Angeles freeway with his dog Gladys. Armed with a shotgun, he attracted police attention, leading the authorities to shut down the freeway. News helicopters quickly arrived, broadcasting the unfolding standoff live to viewers across the country. As the situation escalated, Jones threw a Molotov cocktail into his truck, igniting it. With flames engulfing the vehicle, he picked up his shotgun and took himself out, an act that was witnessed by millions. And want to know the worst part about this whole tragedy is that the dog, Gladys, didn't make it out alive. The dog tragically passed away within the fire because he was stuck in the truck. The reason why Daniel did this was because he was battling both HIV and cancer, enduring severe pain and frustration. He also openly criticized health maintenance organizations, accusing them of prioritizing profits over patient care. His highly public spectacle was intended as a protest, and before taking himself out, he displayed a banner on the freeway that read, "HMOs are in it for the money. Live free, love safe, or die." Just before his death, Jones tossed a satchel over the freeway wall, containing a videotape recorded the previous day. In it, he explained the reasons and frustrations. Authorities recovered the tape, and while portions were shown in news reports, the full recording had never been released, making its whereabouts unknown. On August 28, 2003, 46-year-old Brian Wells, a pizza delivery driver at Mamma Mia's in Erie, Pennsylvania, received a call from a payphone at a nearby gas station. The order instructed him to deliver 2 pizzas to 8631 Peach Street, a location that led him to a TV transmission tower at the end of a dirt road. Upon arrival, Wells was ambushed by a group of 4 people who forcibly locked a collar bomb around his neck and handed him a shotgun disguised as a cane. He was then given detailed instructions to rob a bank, with the threat that the bomb would detonate if he failed to comply. At 2:30 p.m., Wells entered the PNC Bank at Summit Town Center and handed the teller a note demanding $250,000. The note warned that he only had 15 minutes to complete the robbery before the explosive device would detonate. However, the teller was unable to access the vault in time and instead handed him $8,772. Wells left the bank at 2:38 p.m., but a witness immediately called 911, reporting a man with a bomb around his neck. Following the instructions given to him, Wells attempted to flee toward the wooded area, but was quickly intercepted by police and arrested in a McDonald's parking lot. Law enforcement, uncertain whether the device was real, evacuated the surrounding area and called in a bomb squad at 3:04 p.m. Meanwhile, multiple news outlets began live coverage of the developing situation. For nearly 30 minutes, Wells sat in the parking lot, appearing hopeful that authorities would find a way to defuse the device. However, at 3:18 p.m., with police officers and bystanders watching, the collar bomb exploded, killing him instantly. The bomb squad arrived just 3 minutes later, but by then it was already too late. The investigation that followed revealed a bizarre and complex criminal plot masterminded by Marjorie, Kenneth, William, and Floyd. The group had conspired to rob a bank as a means of securing funds for Kenneth to carry out a murder-for-hire plot against Marjorie's father, whom she believed was mismanaging her inheritance. Wells, it was later determined, had been involved in the planning of the heist but was under the impression that the bomb was fake. However, once he arrived at the designated location, he was double-crossed and forced into compliance at gunpoint when he realized the bomb was real. The case, dubbed the Collar Bomb Case or Pizza Bomber Case, became one of the most infamous investigations in FBI history. Authorities later determined that William, a former teacher and handyman, had constructed the explosive device. Floyd, a convicted graper and fugitive, was the one who physically placed the bomb around Wells' neck. Marjorie, a woman with a history of mental illness and violent behavior, was identified as the mastermind behind the scheme, while Kenneth, a retired television repairman and crack cocaine dealer, had been recruited to carry out the murder of Marjorie's father. All individuals involved faced legal consequences. Marjorie was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole in 2011, while Kenneth received a reduced sentence of 22 years in exchange for his testimony against Marjorie. Floyd, granted immunity for his cooperation, was never formally charged, and William died of cancer in 2004 before he could be brought to trial. By 2022, everyone involved had passed away. Despite extensive investigations and numerous interviews, debate persists regarding Wells' level of involvement in the crime. While law enforcement concluded he had participated in the planning, his family maintains that he was an unwilling victim who was forced into the heist under duress. While law enforcement concluded he had participated in the planning, his family maintains that he was an unwilling victim who was forced into the heist. His friend, Jessica, later admitted in the Netflix documentary Evil Genius that she had set him up, providing his name and schedule to the conspirators in exchange for money and drugs. This revelation added another layer of complexity to an already confusing FBI case. Thank you guys for watching this video, and before I end this, I do want to give you guys a little update. I do have a pretty cool video in the works that no one has made on YouTube. I have finally came up with an original idea that I think is going to perform very well, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. And if you guys like this video, you will love this one right here. But yeah, I have no idea when that video will get released, but I am very excited.